Tomorrow, NASCAR Race Day revs up in Dover. Jimmy Johnson joins us live, and Chasers beware. We'll look at how the Monster Mile can crush title hopes. Don't miss NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot from Dover tomorrow, 11 Eastern, live on Speed.
Oh, it's getting good up there in Dover, man. Chase is heating up. Jimmy Johnson's in a hole.
Yeah, and then passionate fans up there in the Northeast as well. Obviously all over the country, but the Northeastern fans really love that NASCAR racing.
Don't you love going up that way?
Absolutely.
They're
Martin
cleaning
Truex Jr. on the pole at his home track. Be a big day on Speed tomorrow.
Cleaning up the racetrack, Parker Kligerman, the beneficiary of the Aaron's Lucky Dog, so he will be able to get a lap back. He came onto pit road early, and that is why he was needing his lap back, right?
And that's because they had a punctured right rear tire, and Kligerman said this thing just doesn't feel right. They pulled it down, threw some soap on it, and it was bubbling, so he was definitely losing air out of that tire. So very heads up move from the driver to make sure they didn't crash that truck, and then by getting a lucky dog, no harm, no foul. Army?
Yeah, Ray, I'm catching up with the 88 team back here in the truck. I did get a chance to speak to Matt Crafton before the crew got here, and basically from this point forward, it's going to be a process of elimination. We talked about a very bad vibration for this truck in qualifying. They changed the engine and the transmission. Well, they dropped the green flag. That did not fix the problem. So now they're changing the rear end gear and the drive shaft, trying to find out where in the drivetrain this vibration is coming from. But a tough break for Matt Crafton in the 88 team.
Coming in, Matt Crafton, top 10 in the point standings. Actually, he was up there in 6th, I believe, and has already lost 3 spots because he's off the track now. Reason for the caution, Josh Richards in the 51 slides up, slams into the outside wall.
It's Camping World's destination recreation.
Hey folks, here's a great new way to get around your favorite campground or at the racetrack. Listen to this. It's the Zappy 3 Pro Flex scooter. And I'll tell you what, this thing is loaded with features. Of course, you got your basket to put your favorite things in from the grocery. It's got a light, got a little horn, and I'll tell you what, this thing rides great. I was standing up, but if you want to, you can ride it sitting down. You can remove the seat if you'd like. What's amazing is how compact this thing folds up. It's very easy for you to put into your trunk or in the back compartment of your RV. But I'll tell you what, when you want to go somewhere, this thing rides like a dream. It charges in about 3 to 4 hours on 110, and it's awesomely fast.
And NASCAR has said Ray cannot use that on pit road. But I'm sure it would be fun in the campgrounds area. Again, a lot of people camping along the backstretch and hanging out by campfires because the temperature has dropped below 50 degrees, and we're expecting it to get down into the 30s still this evening.
The warmest place right here in a racetrack is in those trucks.
And we're seeing the jet dryers clean off some of the speed zorb. That's because the 51 of Josh Richards had some fluid coming out of that truck.
It's pretty warm right there where those trucks are blowing that speedy dry off too.
So once they get the track cleaned, we will go back to green flag racing in the Kentucky 225. Welcome back to Sparta, Kentucky. Track cleanup still continuing. That's in turn 2 and on the backstretch. We remained under caution. We've completed 11 laps, 150 scheduled for this race. A huge day tomorrow on Speed. Speed Center NASCAR edition kicks it off at 10:30 a.m. Then NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot at 11. Victory Lane follows the race, and Speed Center wraps it all up for a big day in Dover.
Love Victory Lane. You get to hear all the stories from the race, see the winner, be in Victory Lane with those guys. Man, Speed's got you covered tomorrow. Jason White's got some damage to the back of his truck there, Phil.
You wonder if somebody maybe, when that accident happened, maybe Jason jumped on the brakes and somebody ran in the back of him. But, you know, they're going to talk to the crew chief right after the race ends. They talk to the driver, the crew chief, a lot of times the owner. That's just a great show with JR and the boys.
If they were going to talk to the crew chief on that 23 truck, they might tell Jason, you got some damage, but this could be good damage. You know, we talk about side force on the truck.
More side
that
force.
Could add a little bit of side force to that 23 truck, Ray. I like the way it's bent.
Don't fix it. Don't fix it.
don't fix it is exactly what they said on the radio, and they said put fuel in this thing. So mark it down on your calendar there that they just put fuel in on lap 11 here. We'll see if that plays any factor later on.
And you see the truck he's going by, the 29 of Parker Kligerman. I love that young man making that call. Early in the race, it's going to be loose. He could have confused that with just cold tires, but he said, I think I got a tire going down. Comes to pit road, gets an Aaron's Lucky Dog. He's in business.
And he also got topped off on fuse 2 on lap number 11.
Matt Crafton coming back out on the track as the field making their way back to the flag stand. We're about to go back to racing. Brian Eichler, Ron Hornaday, 1 and 2. Green flag back in the air.
Hornaday's going to stay right in there. How about Nelson Piquet Jr. running up there right now, battling Austin Dillon for the 3rd spot.
Hornaday moved up the racetrack. Eichler had to go up a little higher. They go through the speed zorb that's been mostly blown off the racetrack, but it looks like a little dust still blowing as they came out of 2 and down the backstretch.
Hornaday makes the pass cleanly that time. Got ahead of Eichler, made a good corner. Heck, when he went by Austin Dillon, it looked like he just thought Austin wasn't there anymore. Crowded him up, but this time he grabs it with a great pass.
Yeah, I thought maybe Ron lost the front end there. I don't think that was intentional necessarily.
Top 3 separated themselves. Now Nelson Piquet Jr. up top. The fuel doctor number 60 of Cole Witt running in the 4th spot.
Austin Dillon looks to the inside of Eichler in a battle for 2nd. Looks like he's going to get him.
And clear.
And the Bass Pro Shops number 3 of Austin Dillon makes his way up to 2nd. Again, after starting on the pole at the beginning of this race.
Man, when you go down into turn 3 and you're on the inside of another truck and that spotter yells you're clear, that's the best sound you're going to hear. You know you don't have to battle with that guy side by side. Your truck will be loose. Austin completes that pass.
That truck right there was loose, Michael. That 8 truck of Nelson Piquet Jr. on the inside of Cole Witt. Same situation we saw with Josh Richards. Nelson realized that, slowed down, had to move up the racetrack and chase it.
How about James Busher in the 31? Here's another driver who hasn't been to victory lane, but looking strong early on in this race.
Along with Cole Witt, the dude that's running alongside of him.
We have 4 drivers right there, never have been to victory lane here, all running well up into the top 10.
All 4 of them could go to victory lane this year, too. I guarantee you one of the 4 of them will somewhere.
We've only got 6 races to go, but they are very strong week in and week out.
You know, one thing I like about Nelson Piquet Jr., who just took over that spot, he's not afraid to run up high. It takes a while for these guys to get used to running up high. Nelson Piquet Jr. has been able to do that right away.
Todd Bodine in the international number 5, that Valvoline number 5. Running back in the pack just a bit. He's another driver who needs to get to victory lane. He has a streak going. Ever since he's been running full-time in the Camping World Truck Series, he's gone to victory lane at least once. Well, this year with just 6 races to go, he has yet to find victory lane.
The lead right now is tightening up, or the battle for the lead. Austin Dillon has chased down Ron Hornaday. Austin was the fastest truck on the racetrack that time by about 1/10 and a half.
He's getting a little bit of draft. You know, we talk about the speeds here, probably close to 180 miles an hour, maybe over 180 as they go down into turn 1 here. And those pickup trucks punch a big old hole in the air. So when you're running along 2nd, coming down the straightaway, your truck feels like it's got 50 more horsepower than normal because you're just pulling up behind another truck.
I was talking to Max Pappas right after qualifying, and he said exactly that same thing. He said it's amazing. He said the truck the sound changes. It feels almost like a speedway race when you get in a draft. As Austin Dillon moves to the inside.
Little bobble by Hornaday, and Austin Dillon looked to the inside. Hornaday had to chase that truck up the racetrack coming out of turn number 4. Dillon looked like he was going to take advantage of it, but Hornaday still strong out in front. And we're still seeing the sparks. They're running down to the bottom of the racetrack, but sparks still flying when they hit the track.
Yeah, Austin actually got on the apron, I think, a little bit with that left front tire. Looked like the splitter hit the racetrack.
You saw how low the left side of that truck was, Rick. He's got a good setup for his truck. The front end's way down. Oh, Ron's driving the heck out of his truck, isn't he? He's been sideways a couple of laps here, but he's holding on to it and holding off Austin Dillon.
And again, the reason that Ron Hornaday is in the 2, the Hollywood Casino number 2, they're running for the Owners' Championship. They felt like Hornaday had a better chance of finishing in front of where Cale Gale was potentially going to run, because we've got a smoker coming out of that's Ryan Sieg in the 39. Little smoke coming out of that truck. I'm sure NASCAR will be taking a look to make sure there's no fluid coming out. But the Owners' Point Championship is still up for grabs. Kevin Harvick Incorporated wants it bad. The smoke continues to roll out of there, but that's the decision. Hornaday, right front goes down, and Sieg into the wall.
That's one of those situations when you've got it in the outside wall already. There's no sense just prolonging the agony. Just go ahead and come to pit road, just like Parker Kligerman did. Take the lap penalty. You take the lap, you're going to lose. But instead, he stays on the racetrack.
And it was costly too. Going down the back straightaway, the right front tire blew and into the wall he went. Let's watch him hit the wall the first time. Coming off turn 4, just gets high up into the marbles, the loose rubber, and into the outside wall.
You see the smoke right there. That's when the spotter says, okay, Ryan, come on, take that thing to pit road. You've got a tire rub. And this is the second one after that tire goes and deflates.
That was a major tire rub.
Yeah.
He clobbered the wall. You got to come to pit road after that.
So Ryan Sieg brings out caution number 2. We're right along with Jason White.
That's the first incident right there up ahead. You see Ryan get into the outside wall, racing with Parker Kligerman in the 29 Dodge.
Look at all that smoke. That's tire smoke. He should have just backed out of the throttle there and tried to find him a hole to get to the bottom, and certainly didn't need to be running that hard trying to prolong the obvious.
We've seen a lot of trucks make contact with the outside wall and able to continue, but with that much smoke, you know that's a recipe for disaster right there.
It was inevitable, and it ended up that way as he got into the wall after the right front tire goes down. So that brings out caution number 2 here at Kentucky Speedway. The first one coming out with Josh Richards spinning around through turn 2 and backing it into the wall. Great race up front. Hornaday and Austin Dillon have been battling. We've also seen Brian Eichler out front.
Cole Witt closing in on him, bringing Nelson Piquet Jr. along.
You know, we talk about the pit window being somewhere between 52, 58 laps. Well, that's after they get full of fuel. Remember, they qualified and had to pace laps on this load of fuel. They're halfway into that run.
On their way onto pit road, we go down to Hermie Sadler.
Well, Rick, Brian Eichler has reported to crew chief Eric Phillips that he is loose. They're coming in, no tires. They told him do not slide the tires coming to the pit stop. It'll be fuel only, wedge and track bar adjustment to tighten this truck up. Ray?
At the bottom of the screen, you see Cole Witt coming in that Fuel Doctor and Red Bull truck. He said his truck is great when it's in clean air, but a little bit tight when he gets up in traffic. Hornaday on the top, they're going to go fuel only. And on the right side of your screen, you see the Bass Pro Shop Chevy of Austin Dillon. Austin said he did not like the way his truck is coming off turn 4. It'll be a drag race. Nelson Piquet Jr. first off of pit road.
Wow, great stop by that team. Looked like everybody pretty much, Phil, with the exception of maybe Max Pappas, a couple other trucks. You can see another truck, Miguel Pluto's having some issues down on pit road, but most everybody's just gas only.
Watch this now when Ron Hornaday tries to leave pit road here. A lot of trucks. You see trucks driving around the 32 of Blake Feast. Now they're 3 wide. Austin's going to pull out of his pits.
Cole Witt saying, come on, guys, give me a swim lane here. They just took his run away from him.
A lot of people may be wondering, why wouldn't they change tires when they come onto pit road? There's a limited number of tires in the Camping World Truck Series, only 4 sets. They want to save them for the end.